Hey, you awesome YouTube community. I'm so sorry I missed last week's vlog. I was just incredibly ill at VidCon and it was just crazy. I was slammed. It was just absolutely nuts. And I'm so sorry. I just, not to mention the internet connection and my laptop that I didn't have software on. I was just thoroughly not ready to do editing on the road. Had no clue on how much that would take. So anyway, welcome. I'm going to skip over my little trip that I did with my wife to Dallas and Waco, Texas, and give you an exclusive video that I got to do with Sean Cannell with Video Influencers. And don't forget that VRA community, go VRA. So anyway, let's get into that video. Hi, I'm Floyd. I'm a photographer and filmmaker. I create photo tips and tricks and review videos. Sometimes I also will show you the process of how I create photos and go through the whole behind the scenes on that. But also I intend to create a lot more encouragement for the YouTube creator community. I hope you like this video. At any time you're interested, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to check out the show notes and information below. All my links and things like that will be down below. So my wife and I went to Dallas just before VidCon, the few days before. I think it was like Sunday through Tuesday. And we're gonna create a whole video on that at a later time, but for now, here's some highlights. Okay, that's enough. Let's get into the video with Sean Cannell. I hope the questions that I asked him help you. They sure did help narrow down a few things for me. So one of my frustrating points that I've experienced with YouTube and trying to get out, one is being able to communicate effectively. I suck at it, but I'm getting a little bit better. I'm learning how to, one, relax, calm down. Two, just be myself. I didn't really know the clarity of where I was going with YouTube. So that was one of my big questions, and I'm sorry I keep doing this and I'm trying to avoid this hand gesture thing, so bear with me. But no, I was very interested in making sure that my content wasn't all over the place, and I'm just trying to do the best I possibly can and not kind of be like the Casey Neistat or another Peter McKinnon or another of someone else. It's not bad to use their content to better your performance and see if you can duplicate certain things, but I didn't want to add to the noise that's out there. So that was one of my first questions. My first question I asked him was, how do you avoid adding to the noise, meaning just making a bunch of garbage, and really focus on creating good content? So let's check out his response. But it's hard because you follow Casey, you follow Peter McKinnon, you follow you, and you follow, you're in the VRA, and there's a contrast difference there on what you're trying to obtain. It's just so much information, and you just get overwhelmed with with where to go. So you just kind of feel lost and kind of just making more noise than I'm making more creation.
Sure. Even if you feel like you're adding to the noise, I always like to say, we're always just practicing. Like, we're forever beginners, we're forever students. So sometimes even what you're doing right now might not, I don't know if I feel like I'm in the zone, I'm in the lane, like I've found my voice. That's okay. Pump out content, post a lot of videos, because in the process of doing, I believe, comes the self-discovery of our niche, because we don't need another Peter McKinnon, we don't need another Casey Neistat, we don't need another Sean Cannell, we need you. But sometimes in the process, imitating in the sense of learning from or doing a style, like it'd be a great idea to watch a Peter video and be like, I wonder if I could recreate those same edits. I could recreate those same things.
Right.
The process of just like following kind of that template
Right.
might unlock some insights that eventually lead you to your own thing. And you're totally right. VRA is a different philosophy than Casey saying we need to talk in the title and just having some kind of a provocative image. That's tapping into subscribers, suggested videos. He doesn't even add tags to his videos. He's also in a different position for a lot of reasons. So what I love about VRA is it's a practical, predictable, principle-based way of growing that I believe can apply to what I like to call non-unicorns. So, if we're honest,
Good point.
if we're honest, like guys like, dude is a freak of nature.
Right.
Runs 6-minute miles, 50 miles a week while doing everything, and he lives in New York, and like so that even his environment, like his DNA, his environment, his background turns into like a very incredible package that's entertaining to watch. Where some people, you don't have those same things. What do you have? And really figuring that out and doubling down on that. So what I love about VRA is it's principle based. And so we'll see people, maybe they don't have the most charisma, but they love a certain thing and they just own it in like knitting, sewing, gardening. You know what I mean? And even if you do, like it can work in other ways as well. So when you do that, whether it makes some money with it, that's kind of what I've done, right? I made some money with affiliate marketing. I've experimented with digital products. I have vlogged. I daily vlogged for 50 days straight once while I had a full-time job. It was an easy way to learn about how hard daily vlogging is. And so then, and I actually, and maybe someday I'll vlog, but I actually learned, I was like, I don't know if that's for me. I like more batching. I like more having content planned out, and I like sleeping and like spending time with my family and like having a life. But I would have never learned that if I didn't go on kind of a sprint of creating a bunch of content. So I just encourage you, sounds like you're crushing it in the sense of like you got all this stuff going on and you're seeing things work, but you definitely want to carve your own path. I don't think while there are principles, I don't think there's any rules in this space. You know what I mean? So it is almost like a blank canvas. What you create in the next 5, 10, 20 years, it's like a wide open world, you know what I mean? That it doesn't have to look a certain way, but all of the things you're learning from all the different people, I think can turn into something unique for you.
And then the next thing I asked him is, right when we were in VidCon, that's when they launched Instagram TV. Of course, Instagram was all over it. They had the huge displays, but I really wanted to get his thoughts on Instagram TV, so take a look at this.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Instagram?
My thoughts on Instagram TV, I'm excited about it. Some people are like, my gosh, this is a direct assault on YouTube. I don't think so. It also is because Susan and Mark, the CEOs, they might like each other, but like they're not friends, man. Everyone's out for blood, man. Like no one's like trying to like be nice and not take market share. We saw that with Instagram too. They were just like, let's just steal stories from Snapchat. It's like the mafia, man. It really is. Like, it's just like, let's just do a hit on somebody because that's business though, So there's that, and then I think it's a big deal. I think it'll be cool. The reason I think it's a big deal is because Vero came and who knows where it went. But it was a new unproven platform. This is a new kind of like, whoa, this is a big deal, but it's on a proven platform that has a huge active user base. So I'd definitely be paying attention to it. The warning would be, and this is what I'm trying to deal with, and I got a team, as you know, and even with a team, even with everything we're doing, I think that the people who succeed in today's world are gonna be people who protect their focus, are not a jack of all trades, but they master something. They don't get so distracted by shiny objects and overwhelm, but they just pick a path and they work that path. I think that some people are like, you should be everywhere. It's kind of a recipe potentially for disaster, for stress, for higher anxiety, And so, every day there's something new to take you off the prize. Like IGTV, oh shoot, LinkedIn video. I'm going to all these sessions. I'm like, what am I even doing with my life? I'm not doing LinkedIn video right now. And then, like, I don't know, my Pinterest game is failing, right? Whatever. Like, there's so many places that you could have opportunity, but you definitely got to own one place. And the reason I say that too, if you can take one thing, and for me this was YouTube. Even the fact how I was able to get a team by focusing on one thing, by getting, if we called it a pipeline of revenue, like you got to get that pipeline flowing, hopefully flowing with some passive income, which allows you to scale to the next thing. too many trickles never add up to enough to ultimately break through. But you get one pipeline that's like, okay, now I'm paying my bills. Now I got a little margin, I can hire somebody. Now I can expand to a platform. Let's maximize these, and be patient, get even more, and now we can expand maybe somewhere else, or just like own it. And the last thing I'll probably say though is diversity though is important. Just like they say in finances, you should diversify your portfolio. I do think there's something about diversifying your platforms and not having all your eggs in one basket, because YouTube's algorithm can change, Instagram's can change. That's also why we say you should build an email list, have your own presence like on a website, and at some point be thinking about the fact that if you're anywhere else other than like your own email list or some kind of your own way of communicating with your audience, you are on rented land, and the landlords can change things whenever they want.
And then, you know, I'm an older guy starting this whole YouTube stuff, and I'm afraid of doing the wrong thing. So I asked him, I said, hey, what if what I'm creating doesn't work? I mean, I think that's a valid question, but we all know what the answer is to the what if question, right? So check out his response.
But I mean, again, there's no way to even know. Like, we want to start a business. We're doing this live event. What if it doesn't work? What if nobody comes in September? We're on the hook for like 50 for our event in Vegas.
Oh.
So you might not have even heard about it. We're hosting an event in Vegas. By the way, right in the middle of Vid Summit, video marketing world, Tim Schwer's Video Labs, CVX Live is a week later. It's mayhem, man. It's probably the worst idea we've ever had. And what if it doesn't work? Then it doesn't work. As I would reverse engineer, I would completely get to start with the end in mind. I would start with the end in mind with financial goals. I would start with the end in mind with your lifestyle, and I would architect what you want to do to build towards that.
Tim Ferriss lifestyle.
That's a complete Tim Ferriss, and that is why I'm not vlogging right now, is because everything from lifestyle, even to the practicality, I'm like, okay, well, if a how-to video ranks, or if a camera review ranks and it leads to passive income, then that produces this. That also, it's maybe not to just rest, because I want to still build other stuff, but like, if I'm not going to have margin to like write a book, I'm not gonna have margin if I'm consumed. When Casey went daily and he was doing that level of production, he couldn't do anything else. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, if you just reverse engineer where you want to be, but as far as the what if, it might not work. There's definitely no guarantees. Here's the other thing: what if some bright entrepreneur launches a new platform that tanks YouTube? I mean, what if a meteorite strikes the building right now? You know,
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could just you
yourself.
could get stuck in that trap. So you do definitely want to be smart, do research, get clarity. But at some point, you got to just step out and try it. And then I would recommend Seth Godin, The Dip. And because that's the thing, there is a point where you want to make sure you hit the dip. It's always hard to get something to grow. And there is a point where you have to say, do I press through in this, will climb up, or do I let it go? Because there are projects and I remember I wrestle with that. Because you may have heard of our Think International channel, my Clear Vision Media channel, my Sean Cannell channel. Those have had some wins, but those aren't Think Video Influencers or Think Media. But I remember letting go of some of those other things was so like hard in the moment, and I couldn't really, because I couldn't see the forest through the trees. But when I did, it kind of was the unlock to move into the other thing. So there was a time, and I was like, but it still has got like 10,000 subscribers, and there is an audience there, and but at some point you gotta just go with your gut, and you gotta go with God, and get that clarity, but then just step out. And here's the thing, yeah, you're 48, so do this for 2 years, but then you're 50. And I mean, you look fit, you look like looks like you feel good, and so, you might strike gold in 12 months, or you might strike gold in 36, or you might strike gold in 8 years, and all of those would probably be good scenarios, by charging down the path and trying to make the best decisions possible.
And while I was waiting to talk to him, there was a gentleman there who was interviewing him as well, and he asked a great question. And here's some of those social media mistakes that we all have a tendency to make, and so be careful with some of these, because anyway. Check it out.
In social media age, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people making is falling into kind of the trap of trying to like placate for views, for likes. I do it, I'm on Instagram and I'm like, okay, what kind of post is gonna get liked the most? This kind of thing got liked then? that is good to pay attention to, but if you're not careful, then those kind of metrics will be steering your vision in your life possibly in the wrong direction. You need to know where you personally want to go, and you're not there for likes, you're there for whatever your purpose is. So sometimes it might not be as popular, but it might impact the people that you want to impact the most, and it could be smaller but actually more depth because you're sharing your voice. You know, you can start a prank channel potentially and get millions of views, but maybe that's not the difference you want to make, or maybe it is, then you know what I mean? But at some point, hopefully you would be doing that not just to like play the game and hack the system, but that there's like a clear vision that you have for where you want to go. And then bring your audience along with you. It's co-creation, but you're the leader.
So here are my takeaways. Number one, continuously create content to perfect and find your niche. Number two, you are not Casey Neistat. You are you. Find your niche and master it. Once you find your niche or your thing, you can rest in it and just start creating that content. Diversify your content, maybe IGTV, Facebook, something like that. You can diversify, but don't go overboard, don't get too crazy. Now work your specific niche until you generate some passive income. And be patient. Don't run off to the next shiny object before you start seeing a result. So stick with it and create good content. How to scale? Start with the end in mind. Where do you want to be? What does that channel look like to you? What is it? What's the goal that you have in mind? Is it more subs? Is it more likes? Is it more monetization? Is it the message that you're trying to say? Whatever that is, that's the scale for you. So make sure that you have that in place before you continue. I mentioned that Tim Ferriss's book is a perfect example of that. He shows you how to take the end in mind and also the worst case scenario of life and look at that and then work it the other way. So it's reverse engineering. You're taking where it is you want to be and then reverse engineering it to the beginning. And one that helps you determine how much money you need to make and what could possibly happen if things fail and things of that nature. So I highly recommend Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek. And where I learned a lot of this was Sean's VRA course. Highly recommend it. Check it out. Sorry, I still keep doing this. One of these days, this guy is going to go. Build margins before you do other things, so that you can do other things. I like that one. That was me being clever. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you appreciated this video. If you like it, please scratch that like button. And if you so choose, go ahead and smash subscribe. Really appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video.